Class A football, and
let's go.
The Crescent Tigers remain undefeated as they really have yet to be truly tested in their first 2 games this year. Crescent took down in week number 1 Porter 76-12, and then last Friday night we got to see it up close and personal. Took down Rejoice Christian 63-21. Rejoice Christian only had 1 loss going into the ball game. That was against Afton, and that was
by only 2 points.
By only 2 points, 22-20. But Crescent wins that one big, 63-21. Now the Crescent Tigers go to Edmond, Oklahoma, at Memorial, 15th Street there, and take on Oklahoma Christian Academy, another solid program in Class A football.
Crescent, I was down. The best part of what I do on Friday nights is I get to be down there with the kids and the coaches and really get to hear and experience a lot of things that you don't get to experience, if you're up in the stand.
And the fans.
The fans.
You're
they
a
were
rock
right
star.
there on top of us, too, last week.
You're a rock star.
But anyway, when I came up to the press box, we're tearing down, and everybody's gone but about 6 people, counting the 5 of us.
Yeah.
I looked at Casey and Chris, and I said, I love high school football again.
Yeah.
it was just, it was so awesome being around those kids. I mean, they're playing for the person next to them. They're playing for their community. They listen to their coaches. Not one kid on that sideline ever put himself before one of his teammates. Not one time.
His coaches.
Not one time did we see that with the teammates or coaches. It gave me hope. It gave me hope.
It was
awesome.
old school to you, wasn't it?
It was, it's like, it's old school.
And before we get to X's and O's like we will here in just a second, I remember looking over in about the 4th quarter, and it was, 50-something to 14. I can't remember what the score was, but it was something big like that. During the break, I told Casey, look, no one's left.
Oh, yeah.
No
Everyone
one.
is still here in a blowout ball game.
We've had this debate many times, although obviously OU has won 7 national titles, and that's kind of cool and be great to be a fan of that. It's fun. It's been funner throughout the years to be an OSU fan because week in and week out, you have more exciting games to follow, right?
Yeah.
Most of OU's games are like 62 to 10, and you only get 1 or 2 games a year that are even entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, that's kind of it's one of those deals to where to see a team, that's winning that much, but still having that much amount of fun, you can tell there's a whole lot of hunger in that community, the way that they've responded from the advertising perspective to get their games on the air. That's been an awesome thing to watch.
Well, and I think, too, it's a great storyline.
Mm-hmm.
You got coaches on the staff that were players there. You've got retired coaches that are helping out. You've got
0-10 a couple years ago.
I mean, it's just
the 12-0.
It's an incredible storyline. Let me tell you what makes it all happen. Those cats can flat play football.
Yeah, they can.
I mean, they've got
Tigers, don't say cats. Cash.
Well, I'm an old guy.
Okay.
Cats means a good thing, but
I know it's season.
But I mean, if you want to watch smash mouth, fundamental, get in your face and knock your teeth out football, come watch Crescent Friday night at Memorial.
Get you some of that, huh?
Because I'm going to guarantee you, they got more than 4, but they got 4 guys that'll knock you out.
Kevin Green and Matt Portwood would start for anybody that we've seen all year.
And so it's
and I mean on the line.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about skill
you,
kids.
I'm telling you right now, they've got 6 kids. I think they got 6 kids that every 5A team we played with this year that we saw would find a place for those 6 kids to play somewhere on their football
Absolutely,
team.
no doubt.
Obviously, it all the big 3, and we're going to talk about other players when you look at Lovett, Heskett, and a few others. You mentioned Portwood.
That kid's got a motor.
Yeah, he's good.
He's a class.
And we're leaving some kids out.
Oh,
too.
yeah. He's a Class A performer. But when you look at it, obviously you got Bowers, Buzz Emery, and the Musil kid. Those 3, offensively and defensively, is what other coaches have to plan for.
And the guy that gets, the most, obviously in any team, when you win, the guy that gets the most amount of publicity is always going to be the quarterback, right? Hunter Bowers. But the guy, to me, that makes that team go,
Buzz. There's a reason why his name's Buzz.
That doesn't. I'm not taking anything away from anybody else.
Well, because
that little dude is awesome to watch. Isn't he?
You talk about a motor.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
he never comes off the field. Of course, none of those kids ever come off the field. We just mentioned, but Buzz is the kind of guy. And okay, let me just hit pause. Best interview I've done.
Oh yeah.
In the last several years, if not ever, from a high school kid, was Buzz Emery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I cannot tell you how impressed I am with all of those young men over there. Not just in football. They're great football players. These are outstanding young men.
It's amazing how that works together.
Isn't
when you
it?
have great people, then you have better football teams. It's amazing how that works together.
Yeah, I mean, there's none of this me or me, myself, and I crud in Crescent, Oklahoma. There's a bunch of us and what can I do for you? And I mean, guys, I'm just telling you, if you want to feel great about high school football, if you want to get happy about the future of who's going to be taking care of old guys like me in the not too distant future, go hang out with these kids for a few minutes because they'll improve your disposition real quick. I can't leave this though without talking about Jake. That kid.
Talking about Musil?
Musil. Yeah. He gets probably the least out of those three. I think people probably don't. They probably talk more about Buzz or more about
He does all the dirty work.
I mean, what is he? 6'3", 210, probably 215.
Made out of complete barbed wire. Yeah.
Barbed wire, baby. He's a 5-strand barbed wire fence ready to eat you up. I mean, he is a mean cat when he's playing.
Yes.
The second you took the helmet off, the second the game was over, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, he is absolutely hilarious. So obviously, I'm a newfound fan of Crescent football, and I do want to tell if anybody's listening from Crescent, I promise you I won't have the opposing team's colors on this week.
Oh, you had the blue one last week.
I'm a Blue Jay, right?
Yeah,
and so all I have is blue stuff. But I fixed that. I'm going to look like Johnny freaking Cash come Friday night. I mean, you're going to look down there and all you're going to see is black.
Well, and when we see that game on Friday, they're going to be taking on Oklahoma Christian Academy, KC. Oklahoma Christian Academy runs the flex bone, and they will not have anybody close that looks like Bowers or Buzz.
I don't know, man. That running back's big. That running back that you'll see for OCA is a big dude, and he can run, man. I agree with you. They're not very big up front. And Crescent will have the size in the trenches, but I do think that fullback for OCA is going to give Crescent fits.
There's a
I-bomb.
He's a good player, but I'll say this, and my buddies, I got a few buddies that are listening right now and watching, so they'll remember this. Our coach used to say a dog will either bite or he won't bite.
Yeah.
Well, Crescent's got some dogs that'll bite.
Yeah, and I can tell you right now, I'm not going to sit here and underestimate, and I know you're not either. That's not where I'm going with this.
Right.
I'm not going to underestimate OCA because I know there's probably Crescent people listening, and the last thing I want anybody to do is to have OCA to have any extra motivation or any Crescent kids even thinking about overlooking this team because they're legit.
And I don't think there's any way Coach would let that happen or the community of Crescent, but also don't believe those kids would allow that to happen. But I will say this. I think we've had Crescent number one in A-ball for a while.
Yeah.
Last week did nothing but to confirm that for me. Mm-hmm. OCA does have that kid. He's a very, very good player. And listen, there's no bad football players left.
No,
football teams
there
left.
are not. No.
There's no bad football teams left. Saying all that, I think Crescent's going to beat the brakes off those cats Friday night.
I bring this up for Oklahoma Christian Academy. They are not very big. Their biggest guys like 6'2", 200. But as much as we brag on Bishop McGinnis and being coached well, that's exactly it. This is an OCA team that wins all the academics. They're smart kids. They know where to be. And, yes, that flex bone offense, they'll go -3, -3, punt, -4, 2 yards, punt.
Then boom.
Boom. And then so it's not going to be a cakewalk. I mean, Oklahoma Christian Academy.
Absolutely not.
And this game is in Edmonds on the road. So
I'll make a prediction right now. I bet Buzz Emery has over 150 yards, and I bet he has over 15 tackles Friday night.
Yeah,
and
I
bet when the game's over, I bet we're talking to him and Musil again about being co-players of the game because I'm telling you, this team, in my opinion, there's only one thing they want. They want a gold ball.
Yeah,
period.
no, that's right.
And not that the OCA kids don't, and I'm not, I mean, those are all good kids, but to your point about being smart kids that are going to line up right, those kids from Rejoice Christian were smart kids.
Yeah,
and they lined up right, too.
Absolutely. Good point.
And they lined up right, too, because the difference is if you got a bunch of Chihuahuas out there and you got some pit bulls on the other side, I don't care how tough your Chihuahua is.
Good point.
I just think they're outmatched.
Yeah, well, I'll say another thing,
now, Crescent's got to go play.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to go play, but
This may make some people mad, but nobody's ever going to convince. Well, that's never bothered me.
No,
before.
that's why I laughed.
Okay,
well, that's never stopped.
I'm going to go out and say right now, Crescent's going to have way, way, way tougher kids.
Oh, there's no doubt.
I mean,
if there's a tougher
the Crescent kids are made out of barbed wire. I'm sorry, they just are.
If there's a tougher group of kids playing an A ball right now in the state of Oklahoma, please trot them on out. I want to see them. Because, I didn't know this till last week, guys, but when we went and watched them play up close and personal, wow.
Yeah, and, I've had several people this week ask me how fast the Emory kid is. And,
fast as he needs to be.
Well, and I've said, well, who's chasing him?
Yeah.
And they'll say, well, let's say so-and-so. I'll say, well, he's faster than him.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who's chasing him. He's always faster than the guy that's chasing him, right?
That's right.
I always remember saying that about Contrell Brothers, too.
Yeah, that's right.
The Crescent OCA winner will take on the winner between Hooker and defending state champions Hominy. And so that's
Bucks.
That could be yes, please go Bucks.
Can we spend a couple seconds on that?
Well,
yes.
we got 8 minutes left in the show, counting a 5-minute commercial break.
But real quick, can we all just ask everybody to please pray for Hominy?
Yes.
We don't want to drive out to Woodward. I don't want to drive to Woodward the following week. That's too far. I want to go to Stillwater.
Do you know what a buck is?
That's a deer.
Well, in this case, for Hominy,
it's
Hominy bucks. It's an Osage Warrior.
Osage Warrior.
Yes.
Hey, real
Hominy's
quick,
an Osage County.
Cashin season comes to an end. Afton takes them down 40-14. Oh, by the way, the other A5 team that's still playing is Morrison, and they're hosting Thomas Fay. I like Morrison in that ball game. I think it's going to be. And Afton, by the way, is at Minko, and that's been a good series over the last couple of years. Coach Wardlaw now at Minko, so we will see how that and the final few teams in this Class A bracket. I mean, this is 8 good teams, and so the Final Four will be really interesting to see who gets there, and obviously in the state championship
Scroll to the top
game.
there. Let me see that's the top 2. I think would be surprises to a lot of people looking at that. When you're looking at Thomas and Morrison, I don't think a lot of people had those people advancing.
Yeah.
So that's our class breakout. We got to get our final timeout. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up. This is the High School Huddle presented by Legacy Wealth Advisory Group.